Miss Susie with the magical sunglasses meets Max the monster.
Today I want to tell you about a terrible day in my life. Dear me, I actually woke up to nothing short of a nightmare in my own home. Believe it or not, I'd almost go so far as to say it was one of the worst things I've ever experienced. Oh my, it was so gruesome that I become very sad just thinking about it. You won't believe it, but a horrible monster named Max stole my magical sunglasses and was about to eat them. He took my beloved sunglasses and ran around with them in his giant mouth, drooling on them. I thought I was going to die. That's how terrible it was. I promise to tell you what happened, but first I want to wipe away a few tears from my beautiful eyes with my silky soft paw.
If you know who I am and have heard about my magical sunglasses, then you probably realize how very upsetting this was for me. But if you don't know who I am, and it sure is about time you do, I am the one and only Miss Susie with the magical sunglasses. Once you've heard of me, you can consider yourself very lucky because you'll never forget me. You see, I am nothing short of the most adorable cat in the entire universe. Oh, yes, I sure am. And I have some very special sunglasses that are big and blue with glitter on. They also have the shape of 2 stars, where the 2 top tips stand straight up, just like my adorable ears. Oh, yes, my friend, it's absolutely true. You would never believe how well they go with my beautiful fur and sweet voice. And you know what? Hold on tight, because here comes the best. The sunglasses are not only big and blue with glitter on and have the shape of 2 stars that fit indescribably well with my pointy ears, beautiful fur, and velvety voice. Oh no, my sunglasses are also magical. Listen up. You see, when I put on my sunglasses, the world around me becomes magical. It's as if I see everything with completely new eyes. Everything becomes alive, funny, and wonderful. The colors become so bright and beautiful, and every sound is like heavenly music to my ears. Everyone that I meet on my way smiles at me in such a lovely way, and their eyes radiate from joy and happiness. And that's not all. The magical sunglasses make the trees and the wind dance, and the leaves rustle and laugh, because the wind tickles them under their feet. The sun makes everything shine so brightly, and it's as if its warm rays give the earth a giant hug. And there's more. When I'm wearing my magical sunglasses, the clouds in the sky turn into huge, funny and mysterious creatures that sing, dance, chat and laugh, and are having a blast of a party. By now, you probably understand why everyone calls me Miss Susie with the magical sunglasses, and why I always wear them. It's only when I'm asleep that I take them off. Then I put them in a small, beautiful box next to my basket. The box is made of mahogany wood and has the most delicious dark blue velour fabric on the inside. The first thing I do when I wake up is stretch my adorable body and my long, slender paws. Then I take my magical sunglasses from the box and put them on my super sweet snout. S. And guess who's ready for a new day then?
Me, of course. I'm sure you understand. Well, I have promised to tell you what happened on this most horrible day of my life. It's going to hurt, but I'm going to do my best. I hope you will listen carefully. You see, Miss Susie herself, with the magical sunglasses, was in the midst of my best beauty sleep ever, dreaming the most delightful dreams about how indescribably adorable I am, when I suddenly awoke to someone standing by my basket, licking my face. Now, believe it or not, I actually woke up soaking wet all over my face. When I opened my eyes, I stared straight into a giant, long, wet tongue, a huge, cold snout, a pair of eyes as big as teacups, and a pair of big, fluttering ears. I totally froze. A monster! There was a monster in my house, and it was about to eat me. And as if that wasn't enough, I, Miss Susie herself, was drowning in drool. Now all bets were off. I had to stay calm and think clearly. Quite carefully, I lifted one paw, and then, with a lightning attack, I scratched the monster on its snout with all my razor-sharp claws as hard as I could. To my surprise, the monster whined and howled so badly that my human came rushing in, followed by another man, whom I had never seen before. My human called him his boss, but what would I know about that? The worst part was that my human started scolding me. I, Miss Susie herself, who was about to be eaten by a monster, had a scolding.
Miss Susie, what are you doing with Max? He's just a little puppy. He only wants to play with you.
Who? Max? Puppy? Play? Small? I was utterly confused. This monster was anything but small. It was huge, to say the least. My highly intelligent cat brain was working very hard, as you would probably understand. Had my human really invited a puppy monster into my house, a dog, of all things? And now they began to pet and comfort this hideous creature, which was still whimpering over a tiny wound on its snout. I snorted to myself. What a wimp monster, whining and howling for nothing. I was just about to reach for my magical sunglasses when the unthinkable happened. Max the monster was back, and to my utter horror, he snatched my magical sunglasses right before my snout and jumped around with them in his monster-sized mouth, which was full of drool. The meow that came from within me was so loud and shrill that you've probably never heard anything like it. I jumped out of my basket. I arched my back upward, my fur standing on end. I was hissing and growling whilst showing my razor-sharp teeth. Most of all, I wanted to show this beast who was the boss, once and for all. But what do you think happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. My human got mad at me for the second time this day and spoke to me in a very angry voice. When you're as sensitive as I am, and have a beautiful heart like mine, that kind of thing hurts a lot.
Will you stop it, Miss Susie?
Yes, that's what he said to me. And as if that wasn't enough, what do you think happened next? Well, I'll tell you. My human and his so-called boss
smiled and laughed at Max. Did you hear what I said? They smiled and laughed at Max the monster. Look at him, he's so happy, and look at his tail wagging. He's the sweetest thing.
Sweet? My human was mad at me and thought Monster Max was sweet. Just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, Monster Max suddenly grabbed my sunglasses and ran off with them in his giant mouth. With fluttering ears, giant paws, a deadly wagging tail, and way too much fur, he ran all round the house with my beloved sunglasses. He stole them, he did. It was horrible, I'm telling you. I ran after him, into the bedroom, down into the living room, into the kitchen, out into the laundry room, and out into the hallway. But suddenly I heard my human say,
Honestly, now that's enough. What's going on with that crazy cat?
Then he grabbed me under my tummy, opened the front door, and threw me out. I, Miss Susie herself, with the magical sunglasses, was thrown outside while a puppy monster ran around with my magical sunglasses, drooling on them and most certainly about to eat them. I meowed, I whimpered, and I wailed in despair, but little did it help. My own human closed the door right before my snout. I stood outside the house and sobbed for hours. It's true. I wailed and cried until my silky soft fur was soaking wet with tears. My beloved sunglasses were in mortal danger, and my own human had thrown me out. Usually my human is being a decent fellow. You see, he knows very well how incredibly lucky he is to have me live with him, and most of the time he understands that I'm in charge. But today everything went wrong. My human had thrown me out, and now that I didn't have my magical sunglasses, everything around me was grey and sad. Everyone hung their heads, and no one smiled or looked happy. The colours were pale and drab, and there were no trees dancing or leaves trembling and laughing. The sun seemed pale and weary, and there were no clouds in the sky celebrating. Everything was awful and sad. What was I supposed to do? I didn't dare think about what was happening with my magical sunglasses, and I couldn't show myself to people and animals without them on. Have you any idea how awesome I look when I'm wearing my sunglasses? I look amazing, you see, like a real movie star. They sit perfectly on my SSS. I'm sure you remember what that means, don't you? SSS? Enough about that. Everyone looks at me as I walk, so graceful and enchantingly beautiful. Elegantly and silently, I put one paw in front of the other, and my gorgeous tail swings gently from side to side. I also wiggle my bum a bit, just so you know. You see, I'm never in a hurry when I'm wearing my magical sunglasses. All in all, I'm so adorable that it's hard for ordinary people to imagine. At least if one is completely ordinary. I don't know if you are. This day was nothing but a disaster, to say the least. I was so upset and so stressed in my adorable cat body that I thought my last hour had come. My magical sunglasses were in imminent danger of being wiped off the face of the earth, and what would I do without them? They make everything around me look so beautiful and wonderful.
Did you know that I found them in a container behind the best restaurant in town? If you don't know, then you know it now, okay? It's a place where they serve such tasty and delicious food, and where only the most exciting people and animals come to eat. I was standing outside the house for a long time, howling and crying, until there wasn't as much as a tiny little tear left in my adorable cat body. Finally, I thought I might as well give up. I had lost everything. My life was in ruins. I was becoming more and more tired, until finally I fell asleep on the grass. Then all of a sudden, my human opened the door, and out came this boss person and Max the monster on a leash. I jumped up, arched my back, and growled like a furious tiger. I was staring like mad at Monster Max to see if he still had my sunglasses, but I couldn't see them, believe it or not. But when this puppy monster saw me, his ears fluttered eagerly, and he tried to come towards me. Thank goodness he was on a leash. If not, I do not dare to think about what might have happened to him. Then they said goodbye, and this boss and Monster Max disappeared from my life, hopefully for good. Now it seemed as if my human had become all normal again, and called to me in a sweet voice. "Hi, Susie, come on inside. I've got a treat for you, and look what I've got here." Oh, you won't believe it. I almost cried with relief. There was my human, standing in the doorway, and he was holding my magical sunglasses in his hands. I blinked several times to make sure it was true. Then I ran inside as fast as my legs could carry me. I couldn't wait for my human to clean and dry them. My most precious possession. They had not been eaten or broken. I'm sure you understand that I shed the biggest tears of joy in the world when I put them on my super sweet snout. Once again I saw everything around me with completely new eyes, and the world changed into a beautiful and magical place. Monster Max was history, my magical sunglasses were back, and my heart was full of joy and happiness. Oh, well, now I have told you about this dreadful day of my life. Wasn't it horrible? I'm sure you think so. Luckily, it all ended well. Aren't you just happy about that? I am sure you are. I do actually recall another day when something very annoying happened. But I really cannot be bothered to tell you about that today. Maybe another day. Maybe. Oh well, I think it's time for me to take a little nap, and afterwards I want to freshen up, lick my fur and paws, fix my whiskers so that they sit nicely on both sides. After that I will go out into the world with my magical sunglasses and rejoice at how enchantingly beautiful everyone thinks I am. I will swing my tail, wiggle my bum a little, and put one paw slowly and elegantly in front of the other in perfect silence. In that way, everyone can see that I am the most adorable cat in the entire universe. By the way, did you hear about my little secret? The one that you're more than welcome to share with everyone you know? If you don't know it, then listen carefully. You see, something magical happens every time my paws touch the ground. It's as if the earth becomes really happy because I kind of tickle it. And this happiness spreads to every place on the planet.
Is that a great secret or what?
Now I hope you will tell everyone you meet all about it, okay? There's one more thing before I say goodbye for now. If you happen to have a very bad memory and have already forgotten my name, it is Miss Susie with the magical sunglasses.
Everyone thinks it's such a beautiful name, and I'm sure you do too.
Now don't forget it, okay? I cannot continue to repeat myself infinitely, now can I? Well, that's it for now.
Have a wonderful time until we meet again. Ta-ta!